Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about the rumors that I'm hearing about the MCU want to do a Spider Verse live action movie. Hell no. I'm just gonna be really frank with you guys. Hell no. Not right now. It's not the time. It's just not the time right now for it. With how the MCU Spider-Man is going, no. Hell no. No. God no. No, just no. Don't bring Toby and Andrew Garfield into it. The way that the movies been for all the Spider-Man franchises, and they just been kind of, their own thing. And I don't know if I want to see a multiverse. I've been hearing Emma Stone's supposed to be coming back as Spider-Gwen. For what reason? For what reason? We only seen Gwen in literally Spider-Man 3, and then we saw her in the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, and then she died in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Why are we bringing Spider-Gwen in here? That heifer don't even need to be in here. Hell, I didn't even like her ass in Into the Spider-Verse. I thought she was stupid, to be honest, because I just don't want them to keep harping on Gwen Stacy at all as a character. Like, she died. I feel like that is her thing. Just like Uncle Ben died. Don't bring that character back. Don't try to make a spider version of them or whatever. And please, for the love of God, stop marking it off of her, because she's really not that great of a character. She was fun for a little while, but with Marvel, sometimes when a character comes out of nowhere or whatever, you gotta milk it. It's kind of like what DC did when New 52 came and they changed Harley Quinn and they made her more associated close to the Joker, but wanted to get her away from the Joker, and then they just milked her dry to the point where I literally want somebody to like kill her, let her be gone from the books for about 4 years or something like that, off of the Suicide Squad, off of her solo run and all that kind of stuff. I need a break from her as well. But I don't know, because the way the MCU's been going and the way they've been treating the Spider-Man franchise, I don't trust them enough to do a Spider-Man Spider-Verse movie. That's why I'm saying that. And then on top of that, the way that Sony treated Andrew Garfield, why would they even, think about that? Hey, Andrew Garfield should come back. You guys didn't even let him finish his movie. And then we know that Sony and the execs there interfered, trying to do their own thing instead of just letting the movie play out. Damn well in Amazing Spider-Man 2, Peter Parker shouldn't have been facing off with 3 villains. Well, 2.5, to be honest. You really had Rhino, but that really wasn't really him that much in the movie, even though you had him on posters and tried to promote him, but he hardly was in the movie. Then you had Electro, but you're bringing Jamie Foxx back, which that right there, that doesn't make absolutely no damn sense anyway. Why would you bring a character? Why would you bring an actor who played a character from the another Spider-Man movie back as the same Spider-Man character? That absolutely makes no goddamn sense. He wasn't good in Amazing Spider-Man 2, but you're gonna give him another chance? Why? It was already bad enough you have race change Electro. Like, come on with that too. And then what? You had Green Goblin, tail end of the thing, just to try to push that whole Green Goblin killed Gwen Stacy, even though it was Norman and not Harry Osborn. And Harry and Gwen and Peter are supposed to be best friends. So I don't know. That was just weird. And then they left off with that unnecessary, Peter's secret identity get revealed in front of the world crap. I'm just like, oh, here we go. But hopefully this might give him some real responsibilities, some real threats, some real challenges, because the Spider-Man MCU one been lacking. Andrew Garfield said it best about Spider-Man, being not closely associated to the Avengers, being a guy who carries the weight of the world on his shoulders, and taking that responsibility and really holding that to standards. And the MCU Spider-Man hasn't been able to do that. That's why a lot of people call him Iron Boy Jr. But then you think I want to drag him into the Spider-Verse? No, not at all. No, keep that away from the Spider-Verse. He's not ready. He hasn't earned it yet. No, no, not until you give that guy some real character development and stuff like that. He got to get away from the Tony Stark thing. He got to get away from the Avengers thing. He needs to stand on his own. We need Peter Parker to be Peter Parker and not just Peter Parker in name only, because that's literally what he is. He's Peter Parker in name only. And I'll say it to the day, Marvel makes some changes. He is literally Miles Morales. He's literally Miles Morales. His entire storyline mostly is based off of the Ultimate line when Peter Parker was dead and Miles Morales took over. They literally gave Peter Parker of the MCU's Miles Morales story. My thing is, you guys again was so caught up about diversity. Why didn't you just jump for Miles Morales? You wanted to do the teenage Spider-Man thing. You had Miles Morales. What you should have did, Sony, if you didn't treat Andrew Garfield so bad, you could have had Andrew Garfield as the Spider-Man that's already been around for some time, and then you had Miles Morales as the little teen Spider-Man for the MCU. You can have them come together, stuff like that, where he has at least 2 scenes with Miles Morales, and explaining his powers or something like that. Something like that. That probably would have been a little bit more better and stuff like that, instead of going completely young for Spider-Man. Because to be honest, I'm over it. Most people are over Spider-Man being young and stuff like that. It's one of the main complaints about him in the comic books, and yet you guys thought we want to see it again. On TV, he's a teenager again. In the movies, he's a teenager again. Can we let this man grow up? Can he be with Mary Jane Watson? And then you wonder why that Spider-Man game was well more received than the MCU Spider-Man, because they let this boy grow up. They let him grow up. But do you think I want to drag 2 other Spider-Man into it? First off, not with all the bad blood that's going on any darn way, and not with the way that the MCU's been treating Spider-Man for a long time. When Spider-Man 3 comes, it's got to be some major changes to the point where I shouldn't even think about Iron Man in that movie. There should not be an Iron Man present at all. He needs to go back to his roots. I need to see some torment. I need to see some responsibility changes. I need to see him make the hard choices without any help, without any happy, without any pepper, without any Avengers, without any money or anything. I need to see that. I need to see this Spider-Man finally struggling. The same thing with, I need to see him have that emotional grasp of, he's finally, learning, hey, there are some consequences that I have to do on my own and stuff like that. I need Aunt May to be worried about him every day. I need them to talk about Uncle Ben. We need to see these character developments for this character. And right now, the character development for Peter in the MCU isn't there where I want to see him in the Spider Verse. And that's just real talk. I'm just going to be honest. They have to change some things first. Then maybe we can talk later. Because I wouldn't mind, but right now, Tom Holland doesn't have that potential. And it's not his fault. I'm not saying it's his fault. It's literally the writer's fault, because they're not really given a good quality script for Spider-Man, because he's really not Spider-Man. He's literally Iron Boy Jr. Until you strip away everything that Tony Stark gave him, where he can't never get that stuff back, where Peter actually has to figure out how to do things on his own with no shield, no Avengers, nobody. He has to figure these things out on his own, and you have to give him a good character development. It has to be with great power comes great responsibility. He needs that. And until then, forget the Spider Verse. If you can't even get this right, what makes you think I want you to do a Spider Verse? But yeah, that was the little video. That was my little thoughts about the whole Spider-Man and Spider Verse thing coming to the MCU. I'm not really happy about it. But yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll catch you guys